Before I start the video, I want to tell you that I opened a new Discord server, so please join it in case anything bad happens to the channel. Also, you can chat in there. Link is in the description. Hello friends and welcome back to another video. Well, as we all know, the last 4 installments of the show were chapters based on each of the ninja's elements. In Season 11 you have the Fire chapter and the Ice chapter, Season 12 is the Lightning chapter, and Season 13 is the Earth chapter. So I decided to rank all 4 of them from worst to best. Also, the chapter doesn't decide who's the main character for it, because for the Lightning chapter it was Jay and for the Earth chapter it was Cole. But for both the Fire and Ice chapters, they were both for the team, and all of Season 11 is a team season. So yeah, let's get started. Coming at last place we have the Fire chapter, which was a disaster. I can't emphasize enough how bad the Fire chapter is. Half of it is super boring and useless filler, and what's even worse is that most of them come in between 2 very important events. All the characters were very childish and cringy, and it was like I'm watching Dora the Explorer, not Ninjago. This is Kai's worst installment yet. He was super childish, and I think episode 9 is Kai's worst episode in the entire series. He was so childish, and the episode's ending was very bad. The ninja keeps blaming Wu for Asphalt and forgot that they were the ones who freed her in the first place. And Asphalt has the dumbest motives ever. The deal between her and Wu was that she should not use Spinjitzu for evil, but she broke the deal and got the punishment she deserves. And he taught her Spinjitzu, which was the deal. Forbidden Spinjitzu wasn't involved. Also, episodes 1, 2, 6, and 8 are known to be the worst Ninjago episodes ever, alongside 19 and 26. This season is called Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu, but we barely knew any secrets about Forbidden Spinjitzu. All the secrets we knew from season 11 is how you can make a season that is bad in every single direction and only good in making you hate it. 1 out of 10. The Ice chapter is a huge improvement, but still very bad. Vex is basically a male version of Asphalt, and the Ice Emperor had a lot of potential, but sadly he barely got any screen time. But they were focusing on anime and stupid filler, which was even worse in here. Oh, Lord just learned about the Ice Emperor's identity? Take this episode with Pixel fighting the Preeminent. Lord went on his journey with this wolf. Take an awful 2D cartoon animation style with 3 stupid characters telling fake stories while escaping from the prison. And trust me, it was frustrating. The finale was super predictable and rushed. The characters feels dumbed down like they were in the Fight chapter, and most of this chapter was filler, which was frustrating. But unlike the Fight chapter, it had some good stuff. Episodes 16 to 21 minus 19 were good, and Akito was a good character overall. And there wasn't any artifacts for the ninja or villains to collect, and the Ice Emperor didn't have an end goal, unlike all the other villains except for the Skull Sorcerer. And the idea of making one of the ninja a villain was fantastic, but sadly was executed in the worst way possible with the worst conclusion possible. Overall, another trash, and I'm sure after season 11 many people left the show because they thought Ninjago will never survive it because of this, and they were wrong, but I don't really blame them. 3 out of 10. Like everybody else said, Prime Empire is good but not great, and I agree, it fixed some but not all of season 11 problems. First of all, it doesn't have any filler whatsoever, and with that I mean no filler episodes at all. The closest to be a filler is maybe Ninjago Confidential, but not really. The animation is way better than season 11's. Unagami was a really good villain, and in my season 13 ranking updates I said that he's the best in this new format, but no one changed my opinion now. I think the Skull Sorcerer is the best in this new format. And he's really different, and Unagami is really different and unique, but he's barely a character. He only appeared in episodes 8, 15 and 16. He's painfully underdeveloped, unlike the Skull Sorcerer who got a perfect amount of screen time. Also, his conclusion was very underwhelming and illogical in one of the worst finales. It was just unbelievably rushed. It's also the only season where none of the ninja got a story. That's unbelievable. I think Jay being the main character is just a marketing lie. He's not the main character in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Prime Party, the villain was cool, the world building is also really good, and had some of the best side characters. Overall, Prime Party is a season that had one of the strongest starts ever, but then it gets downgraded a bit by bit until it reaches one of the worst endings in the entire show, 7 out of 10. Season 13 is by far, without any competition, the best chapter. It has the best character story since Lloyd's in Hunted. Cole was fantastic in here, and it was absolutely his season we were waiting for since the beginning. The longer we wait, the bigger our hopes get, but this season completely satisfied us. Seeing him blaming himself for being the only Earthmaster to not unlock Spinjitzu Burst is a huge promise to Lily, his relationship with Vanya and his fight with the Skull Sorcerer, and also his dynamic with Wu, and the huge development in character change by revealing why he was fighting evil for all of these years and why he is good, which was of course because of his promise to Lily, and that was all perfectly done. I don't think it could have been any better. Lily was done in the best way possible. She didn't have a very dramatic death, but instead she died because of natural illness, which is a death many people will relate with, and I can't really say the same about any other big death in the show. The animation was absolutely fantastic with some of the best fight scenes of the entire show. The finale is just very memorable and fast and not rushed at all. Wu's best season since Hunted and also Kai's best season since Hands of Time. The humor and seriousness were perfectly balanced most of the times and the tone was mostly fixed. Shintaro is the best location in all of Ninjago by far. The Skull Sorcerer is a good but not great villain, but his identity was really unexpected. And he's the perfect type of villain for a season like this, and I really like his concepts. Overall, one of the biggest surprises Ninjago has ever gave us, and one of the best seasons for me, 9 out of 10. The Fire chapter was basically a huge failure from the beginning to the ending. The Ice chapter had an okay beginning but an awful middle and ending. Prime Empire, like I said, had one of the strongest beginnings but started getting downgraded until we got one of the worst finales. But Master of the Mountain was a huge monster from the beginning to the ending. Started really strong, then it reached a peak with one of the best finales of the entire show. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to tell me in the comments what do you think of each chapter, what's your ranking for them, and what do you think of this video overall. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to the friends, and I'll see you next time.